Moonlight Peaks is a supernatural life simulation game that is releasing this summer, with equal parts excitement and mystery surrounding this highly anticipated new title. Well, if you have questions, I might have some answers, because I was able to play the first 20 days of Moonlight Peaks, and it surprised me at every turn. Hello friends, Sarah Sunstone here, and welcome back to Thinking Out Loud. In today's episode, I'll be sharing my thoughts on an exclusive preview I received of Moonlight Peaks, courtesy of Xseed Games and Little Chicken Game Company, where I very excitingly got to play the first 20 days of the game. That means all the footage you're about to see has been captured from my early hands-on preview, so do keep in mind that this is a pre-release build of the game, so things are technically still considered a work in progress. Today, we'll be diving into character customization, magical powers, your personalized Gothic Farmstead, dark diversions, also known as hobbies, and one of my personal favorites, the world, the town, and its charming cast of supernatural characters. Thank you so much to Xseed Games for taking care of creators like me and very kindly sponsoring today's video. And now, without any further ado, let's get right into it. So in Moonlight Peaks, you're playing as a vampire, and you can absolutely create your own character with a really nice range of inclusive and diverse customization options available. As you can see here, we have a wide range of skin tones, including both natural and supernatural options. There's also a variety of freckles, birthmarks, scars, and other skin details to choose from if you'd like. As for your character's eyes, you start by adjusting the iris shape before choosing from a ton of different eye color options. And your character can also have heterochromia if you'd like to mix and match different colors for different eyes. Next, you'll pick from different eyelash options and decide on whether you'd like to add any makeup. There's quite a number of great options here, from eyeliner and eyeshadow to other fun details like lightning bolts, hearts, and stars. The final portion of facial customization is your character's eyebrows, and you can really express yourself here. There's so many unique eyebrow designs, and you can also pick the color independently from your hair, which we'll take a look at next. So in total, there were 35 hairstyle options to choose from, plus a variety of natural and fun hair color options. And I really appreciate the variety here. I had a lot of fun trying to decide which style I wanted to pick. There are shorter options, lots of beautiful updos, plenty of textured designs, and some of the hairstyles even feature accessories. On top of this, you can also choose from 30 different facial hairstyles, including beards and mustaches, and separately adjust the color for this as well. You also get to choose from some different outfits to get started with. So there are sets that include options like dresses and overalls, but you can also separately mix and match with various tops and bottoms. Then you'll pick your favorite shoes and any accessories you might like. You can even equip multiple accessories in some cases. This includes bracelets, watches, gloves, earrings, glasses, even some nose rings. I really appreciated that overall for clothing and accessories, they had some very gothic and spooky options if you want to really lean into the vampire life, but you can also choose something more casual if you prefer, so it feels like there will be a nice variety of aesthetics, even in this supernatural world. And this is just the beginning, because once you settle into the game, you'll also be able to unlock tons of additional clothing and accessories to even further express yourself. There's even a dedicated clothing store in town called Third Eye Threads. So if you're a fan of customization and cosmetics, I think it's safe to say Moonlight Peaks has got you covered. When you first arrive in the town of Moonlight Peaks with nothing but your little hell kitten companion, your coffin, and a dream, you'll start your new supernatural life on an abandoned piece of land, which is honestly just brimming with potential. Here you can start a farm, raise animals, and decorate to your heart's content, all at your own pace, with lots of tools at your disposal. To familiarize yourself with farming, you'll start by growing some perhaps more expected seasonal crops, like grapes, blueberries, and wheat. But as you hone your skills and tap into your magical powers, you'll also be able to cultivate a wide array of enchanted crops, like these mystical moon fruits. When you feel up to the task, you can also raise magical livestock, like these seriously goofy yet absolutely adorable chickens, who will also produce goods if you keep them happy. I named my chickens Onyx and Tourmaline, and instantly became obsessed with them. I mean, look at them. How could you resist? Now, your homestead's produce can be processed in a variety of different ways. You can sell goods for profit. You will also find motivation to grow certain crops for completing quests. You can give them as gifts, and my personal favorite, you can craft much of what you produce into special furniture items. And I'm not just talking about the crops themselves, but also the artisan goods you make with them. For example, once I completed a quest for learning how to brew wine, I actually unlocked some crafting blueprints for wine-themed furniture, which required wine bottles as one of the materials. So let's talk more about decorating and customizing your home, along with the surrounding land, which is done using your powers of telekinesis, of course. You'll be able to fix up your home, including expansions and upgrades. I was only able to complete the first fix in the 20 days that I played, which prevented the roof from caving in on me, so I consider that a win. But as you complete these upgrades, you'll also be able to change the exterior appearance of your home along with other buildings on your land to personalize even further and suit your own taste. You also have a ton of land to work with, including your own private beach, all of which you'll be able to clean up little by little as you settle in. And guys, the catalog of furniture available seems to be excellent. Keeping in mind, I had a more limited preview of what will ultimately be available as you continue to play past those 20 days. There's also lots of different ways to acquire furniture. Lots of it is craftable, but there's also tons of items you can purchase outright from many different shops around town. For craftable furniture, you can purchase blueprint sets at the shops, but you'll also discover them in many fun ways around the world, making your gameplay feel incredibly rewarding. Another one of my favorite things in this realm of the game was the fact that you would find themed furniture items in maybe unexpected places. Like, for example, you could pick up an adorable embroidery set at the clothing store, or a basket of cupcakes at the local coffee shop. These systems felt very thoughtful and charming to engage with, even down to the detail of being able to craft different color variants of certain items by using different flowers you've collected from around the world. In terms of the design mechanics themselves, you're decorating on what I'll call a flexible grid. So the placement is top down. You can lay down paths, and you can actually customize the size of your brush that you're using for this. You can also seamlessly place down rows of fencing. You can decorate with archways. There's also rugs, there's wall items, wallpaper, flooring options. You can place down things like fish in fish tanks, other gathered items. You can place small clutter items, which there's a ton of, on top of other compatible items. And this actually nicely demonstrates what I mean by a flexible grid, because here you can see just how precise you can get with placing these items. One of the only things you can't do is place items on angles, but you can still rotate items, and some items are actually designed to be placed at angles by default. So you can still achieve that sort of look or effect in your designs, as you can see from my gameplay. And like the clothing, I really do feel like there is a nice variety of aesthetic styles available for decorating. So again, if you want to lean into the darker vampire life, you can, but you definitely don't have to. Now, of course, one of the major draws of this game is the fact that it does take place in that supernatural setting. So we definitely need to talk about your magical powers. Despite being a vampire, you will actually study witchcraft. So you'll learn to cast a variety of useful spells, you'll learn to brew potions, and even shapeshift. In the first 20 days, I was able to learn 2 spells, one that would help me water magical crops, and another that would allow me to move trees around on my plot. The spellcasting system involves completing a fun little pattern-based minigame to cast the desired spell, and it relies on mana, which is separate from your character's stamina. So there are limits to your spellcasting, but I do imagine this would be upgradable in some regard as you progress through the game. And you can learn some super useful spells to help you out with different tasks, which in many ways actually makes stamina management much more feasible. For example, you can cast spells to gather resources on your behalf, or refill your watering can. But you can also use magic to transform your crops into entirely different crops, and even change the weather. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to try out potion brewing in those first 20 days, but it is said to be a very important part of our time in Moonlight Peaks, so I wanted to emphasize this here as something we can all look forward to discovering together when the game releases. However, one other magical power I did get to experience was shapeshifting. So you can actually take on different forms at will once you initially unlock them. Now, I would like to leave this realm of the game for you to experience when you play, but all I'll say is it's an incredibly charming and in some ways game-changing feature, and it does seem like there will be multiple transformations to unlock. which is really exciting. What's also exciting is just how much there is to do in Moonlight Peaks. There are tons of activities to choose from, some familiar and some brand new. And I was actually able to try most of the haunted hobbies that have been shared with us so far. So one of my absolute favorites was bug catching, but not for the reason you might expect. Yes, you can catch all sorts of unique bugs around the world, but you also catch something called soul blobs. I absolutely loved this feature, partially because of the lore of how it's introduced to you, that I won't spoil, but also because not only do you get to learn about how each soul's days of living came to an end when you collect them, and trust me, as morbid as that may sound, it's very lighthearted and silly, but you'll also be rewarded when you collect certain milestones of soul blobs, including the ability to slow down time during the night. So if you're worried about the nights going by too fast, because don't forget, you're awake in the night and sleeping during the day in this game. Don't be. I also loved foraging because there was so much to gather, and the environments are so lush that it really feels like an adventure, offering this sense of discovery as you try to figure out what you can actually collect. Now, different areas of the map also feature different color palettes and different vibes. So you can find certain colors of flowers and herbs in certain locations, and it's honestly just so appealing. I also got kind of addicted to shoveling magical dig spots because you never knew what you were going to find. If you're like me and you find yourself very drawn to the shinies, get your shovel at the ready. I was also able to participate in fishing in the magical waters, with a minigame that I am happy to report is not frustrating and very straightforward. You can catch different fish in different locations around the map, and it was super fun to discover what kind of weird, interesting, or magical fish I would pull out of the water, or if I might even fish up something entirely unexpected. Flower arranging was another unique hobby I was able to play around with, where you can actually build custom flower bouquets in a fairly detailed way. You choose the specific flowers you'd like to include, along with the color of the flower and its precise placement, and then once you've decided on your full arrangement, you can either gift these to your favorite characters or place them as decoration. You can also participate in cooking, with recipes being discoverable through exploration and purchasable in the form of cute little cookbooks. There's also embroidering and the local card game called Nocturna, neither of which I was personally able to experience in those first 20 days, but I very much look forward to, especially because all of the hobbies feel very intertwined with the various characters, as well as the lore and the world of Moonlight Peaks at large. Which brings us to the next big realm of the game, which was a huge highlight for me, that being the world itself and the residents inhabiting it. Now, the visual presentation of the world is music to my eyes. I absolutely just love the art style to start with, but I also love how the different areas of the map look, with lots of details, the personality, both the interior and exterior environments. It all feels very lifelike, very appealing to look at, and I was beyond motivated to explore every corner that I possibly could, unlocking more and more of the map as I progressed through my gameplay. The town center is probably one of my favorite spots to frequent because there are so many fun shops and establishments to visit with enticing offerings and immaculate vibes. The wine bar, the magic shop, the patio outside the cafe, and I was always running into the town's residents here. Now, the cast of characters is definitely a standout for me because you're going to be meeting all sorts of supernatural residents. There are 7 families, each with their own supernatural inclination, and I had so much fun discovering who the witches were. What about the werewolves? Which characters are part of the family of seers? Are there other vampires like me too? And then also figuring out who was part of the same families. Sometimes I would spot a wolf and realize, oh, that's actually Saga transformed. Or I'd see a bat flying by only to realize it was actually Samael. It's just unlike any other life simulation town I've experienced, and I just had to get to know all the characters. But honestly, deciding who to romance is going to be a bit tricky, because there is romance in this game, there are so many great options for candidates. I think I'm definitely going to have to get to know them to fully decide. Now, the characters also each have their own roles and responsibilities, their own preferences, drama going on, unique relationships with the other residents. When you chat with them, they'll often respond to events going on in the world and the projects that you're taking on, things you've accomplished. along with what's happening with the other characters. So it really feels like they're up to date and they know what's going on in town. And honestly, another one of the major standouts for me in those first 20 days of gameplay was just how intertwined the stories of the characters and the town of Moonlight Peaks were with your quest lines. The main quests felt like a breath of fresh air. Even if some of the gameplay mechanics are familiar, the storylines surrounding them are new. Now, I really don't want to spoil any of the story for you ahead of the release, so just trust me when I say the team is doing something different with the quest lines, at least in those first 20 days. And I really loved how involved all of the characters were in unique ways. And this just scratches the surface because there is so much to discover. There is an entire system of caverns to explore, full of valuable ore, crystals, and treasures to collect. There are little secret shops to stumble upon run by magical merchants. More characters are introduced as you move through the game, and a lot of them stick around. They aren't just visitors. There's even a job board in town featuring requests to help out the locals and earn some extra coin. For example, looking for someone's lost item in a certain area on the map, or literally going to pick up a cupcake that someone baked special for you. That's my type of quest. And I still haven't even mentioned the vampsters, which are these little guys. Some of them are wearing unique hats to try to blend into their surroundings. There's over 100 of them in the game to find and collect. So there's even an entire scavenger hunt system built into the game that is just ongoing. On another note, the controller support is excellent. I am a controller girly, and you can clearly tell this game has been designed with controller support at the forefront. Likely from day one, which I could not be happier about for the most comfy gameplay experience. Overall, I am completely blown away by Moonlight Peaks. I mean, this game has seriously exceeded my expectations just in those first 20 days, and I could not be more excited to play the game at its full release, which will be on July 7th for PC via Steam, Nintendo Switch 2, and Google Play. Well, there you have it, friends. Those are my thoughts on Moonlight Peaks after playing the first 20 days, courtesy of Xseed Games and Little Chicken Game Company, which I have to thank again so much for providing me with this opportunity to get a little sneak peek at what's to come for the game so that I could share it with all of you. Please feel free to share your thoughts with me down in the comments, anything and everything. You know I always love hearing from you. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all. And until next time, take care.